Tonight, the city of Superior is seeing less traffic violations, which is good news, but it could end up hurting the city down the road.
Plus, reopen Minnesota. That's the message behind one candidate for U.S. Senate as he tours the state in the midst of the pandemic.
And an opportunity to put your skills to good use as Minnesota's governor announces a statewide mask drive.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. The Superior Police Department is handing out dramatically fewer tickets during the state's Safer at Home order.
Here's a look at the number of parking tickets issued between March 25th and April 23rd. You can see it's almost 200 fewer than during the same period last year.
But the biggest drop is in traffic tickets for things like drunk driving, speeding, or running a red light. During the last month, those citations dropped 92% from the same time period last year.
While this may seem like good news for drivers, we're learning it could cause problems for the city down the road. CBS3's Emma Quinn explains what this means for the city's budget.
On a normal day during rush hour traffic here on Hammond Avenue, it would look a lot different than this today. But this is one of Superior's busiest roads, but the Safer at Home order has changed that. Superior Police Chief Nick Alexander says he has actually been asking his officers not only to only make traffic stops when it's absolutely necessary. This means the department is mainly making traffic stops that cause an immediate threat to the community, such as drunk driving. Alexander says this is to eliminate any contact and potential exposure between officers and the community.
You know, things like speeding and, stop sign violations, things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of tickets are, get written as the result of car accidents, and car accidents are a little bit down as well.
Now, part of the money from Superior's parking citations goes to the city. As for traffic citations, that money goes to the state, and the city receives a small portion of that revenue. Now, Chief Alexander says the Superior Police Department brings in about $100,000 to $120,000 in revenue from parking citations. And coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from Superior Mayor Jim Payne on his side on how he sees this this will have an impact on the city.
All right, thanks, Emma. Well, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Hey, Dave, a lot of sunshine out there for most of us today.
Yeah, most of us indeed got sunshine. And like I mentioned during our 5 o'clock news, well, the warmer temperatures got to the head of the lakes faster than I was expecting, a day early, and I haven't heard too many complaints about that yet. Although that trough of low pressure we were expecting to bring a mix earlier this morning is still lurking out there, and it's been bringing some rain showers here and there in the past half hour or so. Could continue to do so tonight. So let's get a look at the Doppler map for our region. And with an exiting low pressure system and one trying to advance in, just enough low pressure lift to bring us some spotty showers that we are seeing on the map right now. About a 30% chance your town will get some of that tonight through early tomorrow morning, but then higher pressure trying to come in should bring at least a fair decent shot at some sunshine to the region, though tomorrow with temperatures getting into the 60s inland again and 50s by the lake even, we could see some afternoon sun showers. That's a sign of spring. It has to be if we're starting to see sun showers. In fact, we could get thunderstorms by Tuesday as temperatures continue to mellow out around here. We'll show you that 7-day forecast in more detail in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Thousands of people gathered at the Wisconsin state capitol today to rally against the extension of the Safer at Home order. The protest started at 1 despite having their permit denied and was expected to attract virtual counter-protesters as well. Organizers say the protest is in opposition to Wisconsin elected officials unilaterally making the decision to extend the order with no input from people who are out of work. We'll have much more on the protest right here on the CBS3 News at 10.
Richland area lawmaker is now a top state Senate leader. State Senator Janet Bewley was elected to Wisconsin Senate Minority Leader today. The Democrat represents District 25 in northern Wisconsin. She replaces State Senator Jennifer Schilling, who stepped down from the role today. Bewley says that among her priorities in her role include funding programs aimed at providing relief amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
We passed a piece of legislation 2 weeks ago in response to the COVID virus, but it really didn't have any substance in it. It was policy with no money. And a lot of us would like to go back and actually put some state funds into these programs so that Wisconsinites can get some relief.
Bewley has served in the Wisconsin State Senate since 2015. Before that, she served on the Ashland City Council and in the State Assembly.
After announcing distance learning will continue through the end of the school year, Minnesota state leaders say they're now focused on making sure every student has the tools they need to succeed. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan acknowledged how difficult distance learning is for everyone. Some students don't have reliable internet. Other families only have one computer, a parent trying to work from home, and several kids needing to learn. Flanagan says the state will be taking input on how to best address the inequities students face.
I think we've heard some say that the COVID-19 is the great equalizer, but that couldn't be further from the truth. What this crisis has done has laid bare the inequities that already existed within our state.
Flanagan also spoke about resources available for students and teachers who may be struggling with their mental health. She says telehealth options are available through their schools.
One Duluth business owner says the decision on whether or not to open up should be up to him. Jerry Cordes-Mackey owns London Road Rental Center in Duluth. His business has been open during the stay-at-home order to rent equipment to construction companies, but he says he makes most of his revenue from renting out party and event equipment, two things that haven't been happening lately. Cordes-Mackey spoke with U.S. Senate candidate Jason Lewis during his stop on the Republicans' Open Minnesota tour in Duluth today. Cordes-Mackey says he agrees with the former congressman's position on opening the state.
But if a business doesn't want to open, they have every right in the world to close at any point. Nobody's telling any business you have to be open. That's the crazy thing of it all. But then they come around and tell us we have to be closed.
Lewis's tour also took him to Dead on Arms indoor shooting range in Cloquet, Duluth PAC, and Duluth Surgical Suites today. While people have been urging Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to reopen the state, he says he will do whatever is necessary to protect the lives of Minnesotans. Lewis is running against current U.S. Senator Tina Smith for election in November.
New at 6, another prominent healthcare provider is furloughing 2,600 employees as the coronavirus cuts into revenue. Health Partners, the second largest nonprofit group in the state, operates 7 hospitals, dozens of clinics, and a health insurance business. The Star Tribune reports Health Partners employs about 26,000 people.
There's an easy way to donate your homemade masks tomorrow. Minnesota is holding a mask drive, and you can drop them off at any local fire department across the state between 10 and 2. If you donate masks in Duluth, you can also let them know which local facility you would like them to go to. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announced the drive last week, highlighting the importance of essential workers. You can find a list of suggested face mask designs on our website.
Let's take a quick look at the number of cases in our tri-state region. Michigan has more than 36,000 cases and nearly 3,100 deaths. Wisconsin has more than 5,300 cases and 262 deaths. Minnesota has nearly 3,200 cases and 221 deaths. Worldwide, there are 2.8 million cases with nearly 800,000 recoveries.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's campaign met virtually with Minnesota leaders today to talk about his plan to combat climate change. The former vice president calls it the Biden plan. One of his goals is to achieve 100% clean energy with net zero emissions by 2050. Among the leaders participating in the meeting was former Special Assistant to President Obama for Native American Affairs, Karen Diver. She was also the former chairperson for the Fond du Lac Band. She said she's pleased Biden is taking initiative.
This is a fundamental threat to our existence, and it is the hubris of some to always think that we can undo the things that we do. And in the case of the earth, we're starting to find out that some of these effects are permanent.
Other leaders on the call included Minnesota Senator Tina Smith as well as State Representative Rick Hansen.
A 15-year-old is in the hospital after a pickup truck hit the dirt bike they were riding. Police say it happened yesterday afternoon. When police arrived, the teen was semi-conscious with a head injury. They were airlifted to a Duluth hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word if any citations were issued.
An investigation is underway after a fire seriously damaged a home just south of Cook. The Northland Firewire reports the fire broke out around 6:30 this morning in Angora. Nobody was injured. No word yet on what caused the fire.
New details tonight in a drug deal gone wrong that led to the death of an Ashland County man. 16-year-old Dayton Milligan faces a felony reckless homicide charge in the death of 21-year-old Mazaquad Ford. It happened almost 2 weeks ago. According to the criminal complaint, Ford and Milligan met for a drug deal. The complaint says Milligan was behind the wheel of a car when Ford reached in and punched him. Milligan hit the gas with Ford clinging to the car. It crashed into a tree, killing Ford. Milligan turned himself in and, according to the complaint, said it was an accident. He faces up to 60 years in prison.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, with warmer days ahead, cabin fever is setting in. We're hearing from a local marina on how to stay safe on the water while social distancing.
Plus, Dave will have a look at your weekend forecast right after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app.
The nursing program at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is really challenging, but it has to be. It's approved by the Board of Nursing. And graduates here have been successfully passing the state board exam. They give you real-world experience with healthcare institutions across the community. I'm really glad I chose Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
You've got questions and plenty of work to get done. At Northland Lawn, Sport, and Equipment, we're here to help. We can meet with you on FaceTime, Skype, or Zoom, or schedule an after-hours appointment to limit public exposure. We'll pick up and deliver parts and equipment, and we have discounted parts and service appointments. We're all in this together, and together, we'll get the job done right.
Let's be honest, Mom might be going a little crazy during this quarantine. This Mother's Day, celebrate her with a shimmering pendant from Numi Jewelers. Go to NumiJewelers.com and we will ship it to Mom for just $84.75. Shop the entire line for 25% off. Numi Jewelers thanks you for shopping local.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, I never felt this way before. Give us some more.
CBS 3 is going live at 5, focusing on bringing you hyper-local news and weather. Getting the stories that impact your community the most, right down to your neighborhood.
Wisconsin town's 130-year-old.
We're live outside the Husky Refinery.
The city of Duluth is getting a new hockey rink.
A new convention center is coming to Virginia.
Special ed here in Finland welcomes the mushers from
CBS 3, live at 5.
Kelly Hinson takes her job at full throttle. There's no slowing down. She's full of enthusiasm.
Kelly brings a youthful exuberance to the newscast. She's loaded with energy. She's really passionate about sports.
I think even if you're not interested in sports, she draws you in.
She's always up and ready to go and ready to show us the latest in sports.
Get to know Kelly Hinson, weekday nights on Live, local CBS 3.
I chose a career that isn't easy, it's dangerous, and it's hard. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College has set me up with everything I need to succeed. Through challenging classes, longer defensive tactics training, and instructors who work in the industry, Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is setting me up for success.
These are codes and symbols, and we need to copy it. Got it.
A new MacGyver tonight on CBS.
You're like the left brain to my right.
It's rather presumptuous you saying you have a brain.
I suggest you leave now.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Because after I take it from you, I'm then going to have to smash your ugly faces with it. He's going to help.
It's true.
A new Magnum PI tonight, 9/8 Central on CBS.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live, local CBS 3 Duluth.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS 3.
Well, you probably don't need me to tell you that there's a certain smell in the air around our region come springtime, and you need warmer temperatures to get that scent to kick up. Finally, in Duluth and Superior today, we got those temperatures, and that odor was in the air of springtime and things getting ready to green up. A day earlier than I expected, yes, but I haven't heard anybody complain like I mentioned a few minutes ago, and hopefully we won't be complaining for the weekend either, where temperatures stay in the 50s and even the the 60s, although today there were a couple of holdouts in the 40s. So on that note, let's look at the current conditions around our region, where we're going to see a mixture of sun and a little bit of cloud. And whether the clouds are around, there is a 30% chance tonight for a couple of sprinkles coming down. All right, now we're looking at current temps around 61 degrees, even close to the lake on the Minnesota side of the border. But yeah, still a holdout area in the 40s towards Ashland by Lake Superior. So the warmth hasn't completely conquered the region, but we sure made a big step over what we had yesterday. And tomorrow's steps, well, they're probably going to be very similar to what you see right now. So not a bad day at all, something we've earned after 4 to 5, almost 6 months of waiting for spring to finally arrive. Right now at the airport in Duluth, current temp 61 degrees. West winds going 7 miles per hour. The relative humidity on the low side at 34%, and we need to shake that off, so we can avoid the fire danger problem that happens every spring. Come Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, there is a chance for a soaker coming our way. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but right now, just sprinkles coming across because a trough of lower pressure is still in the vicinity. That rain-snow mix chance of earlier today, well, it held off. It'll still come around tonight, so still a 30% shot at a couple of rain-snow showers as we go through the evening and go into early tomorrow morning. So tonight, the forecast is showing that trough of lower pressure could bring that mixed chance, but tomorrow, higher pressure racing in just ahead of a low-pressure system should bring more sun than anything else. But tomorrow afternoon, thanks to the warmth that we're getting, we actually could get a couple of spring-like sun showers, and so that could pepper the landscape here and there. Probably not a big deal at all. Tonight, forecast in Minnesota, that's going to show low temps running about 30 to 35 degrees. With that mix still possible, once the sun sets, it could become just cool enough for a couple of flurries to pop in with the rain showers. And that could cross the border into Wisconsin and the UP as well. Low temps there, 32 to 35 degrees, with a northeast wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, Wisconsin and Michigan, the high temps there are going to run the range of 55 to 62, partly sunny with afternoon sprinkles possible. Minnesota should be partly sunny with afternoon sprinkles possible as well, with high temperatures there, probably going 40s by the lake, maybe 60 inland. And now the extended forecast, it shows temperatures staying in the 50s, even 60s for the week ahead. On the drier side for Saturday and Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a chance for rain, Tony and Kristen. And Tuesday, perhaps enough energy in the atmosphere for a couple of spring-style thunderstorms.
Hey, a little rain this time of year, we've talked about it before, reduces the threat of fires. And now that we see these warmer temperatures, might start turning things a little greener, a little faster. Thanks, Dave.
As the weather gets warmer and warmer, boaters are itching to get out on the lake, but social distancing recommendations still apply on the water. CBS3's Leanne Valdez caught up with Barker's Island Marina for some tips.
It's a different year for sure.
General Manager of Barker's Island Marina in Superior, Eric Thomas, has been around for 22 boating seasons, but number 23 will surely be different than the rest.
This is a special one, an odd one, a unique experience this year.
While Governor Evers' order allows marinas to remain open to the public,
marinas, being they're more of an industrial setting quite often, are still open and we're staying open.
Thomas and his crew have rolled out their own social distancing guidelines for those hoping to get out on the water.
We're having to educate and encourage people to practice social distancing while boating.
One of their recommendations is to only boat with those in your immediate household.
You know, if you get on a boat with a bunch of people that you're not regularly around, that would be a problem.
Number 2 is to refrain from beaching your boat next to someone else.
But soon it'll be June and July, and people will love to go out to Park Point and Wisconsin Point and raft up and beach up. That's going to need to be curtailed.
The way you fuel up before setting sail also has changed.
We're asking people, when they come to the fuel dock, to simply pull up, tie up, step back.
As the crew offers a full-service gas station,
we get on your boat, certainly gloves and eye protection, things like that, are more important and more prevalent at this time.
Thomas adds staff members are also practicing social distance recommendations and to be mindful of them too.
We're trying to be safe and offer people a very welcome distraction.
Barker's Island Marina says they expect boat traffic to pick up in the coming weeks. Minnesota marinas are allowed to operate as well.
Up next in sports, a full breakdown of round 1 of the NFL draft, plus what the Vikings and Packers can both expect with rounds 2 and 3 tonight. Kelly has the details coming up in just a minute.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to live local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m. CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Your Lake Superior Honda dealers want you to be safe. And right now, you need a car you can count on and your dealer to go the extra mile. And while everything is changing around us, one thing hasn't changed: our commitment to you. That's why we're working to follow all government guidelines and doing everything we can to help you stay safe with a reliable car that's ready to go when you need it. For details, call your Honda dealer or visit shophonda.com today.
Shop online at NorthwestOutlet.com. The North Face, Columbia, Under Armour, and Keen will allow Northwest Outlet to sell their spring and summer lines up to 25% off. Normally this doesn't happen till August. Shop and save now. Up to 25% off at NorthwestOutlet.com.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS 3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
I am most excited about getting to really know the viewers in the Northland and getting to show my personality too and letting the Northland kind of get to know me. I'm a very energetic person. I'm always at 100 and I'm always excited to be able to tell stories and being able to have a little bit of fun with it too. And I think that's really, really important on a morning show as well, because you need that energy in the morning to wake you up.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
On behalf of the over 400,000 accredited businesses that support our services across North America, BBB salutes those individuals who cannot shelter in place. Many remain on the front lines, delivering essential services, often at great risk and sacrifice, to enrich or save lives in this time of desperate need. Thank you. Eventually, the all clear will sound, and we will begin returning to normal. Hopefully, we will never forget how much we missed our normal while it was away.
CBS 3 is going live at 5, focusing on bringing you hyper-local news and weather. Getting the stories that impact your community the most, right down to your neighborhood.
Town's 130-year-old.
We're live outside the Husky Refinery.
The city of Duluth is getting a new hockey
A
rink.
new convention center is coming to Virginia.
Special Inn here in Finland welcomes the mushers from the...
CBS 3, live at 5.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Sparta. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
Welcome back into sports. Last night, the NFL draft was supposed to be this gala event down in Las Vegas at the home of the new Las Vegas Raiders. But of course, because of the state of the world that we are in, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, that all changed the 2020 draft to a virtual draft with the commissioner and team's officials working from their homes. The normally bustling streets of Las Vegas were empty and eerily quiet, really sad. And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced the picks from his basement, and yes, he was booed, albeit virtually. The Cincinnati Bengals had the #1 pick in the draft, and as expected, they took Heisman Trophy running back Joe Burrow from LSU, and it was plenty of excitement on draft night despite the change in plans and location. The Vikings were busy and will continue to be busy over the next 2 days of the draft. Minnesota came into last night with 2 first-round picks, one at 22. They obtained in a trade from Buffalo, the other at 25. With the 22nd pick, the Vikings picked Justin Jefferson. He's a wide receiver out of LSU and a big target for the number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow. The Vikes then traded their 25th pick to the San Francisco 49ers for the 31st pick, plus an additional 3 picks in later rounds. At 31, the Vikes selected Jeff Gladney, a cornerback out of Texas Christian University. A little more on the Vikings picks thus far. Justin Jefferson is a wide receiver out of LSU. He forewent his junior year down in the Bayou to declare for the draft. Jeff Gladney fills the corner role that the Vikings certainly need. The 5'10 senior graduates from Texas Christian University. That's 2 down and 12 to go. The Vikings still have plenty of picks to continue to fill those needs on the roster. A few Minnesota natives still on the board, so let's hope they can bring in some homegrown talent, including Tyler Johnson, a wide receiver from the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That'd be pretty sweet. With the 26th overall pick in the 2020 draft, the Packers selected, surprisingly, a quarterback, a pretty good quarterback at that. Jordan Love became the starter for the Utah State Aggies in his sophomore year. He was named the MVP in the 2018 New Mexico Bowl, where he passed for 315 yards and 59 yards rather, and 4 touchdowns. A little more of Love's resume. The 6'2", 224-pound quarterback was a redshirt freshman before playing 3 seasons as a starter at Utah State. Love originally hails from Bakersfield, California. And Packers fans seem to be a little surprised by the pick. The general consensus had fans believing the Packers were going to go wide receiver in the first round, giving Aaron Rodgers something to throw to rather than his eventual replacement. Still plenty of time for Green Bay to pick up a wide receiver as they are just barely getting started. Rounds 2 through 3 will see Green Bay with 9 picks to go in the draft. In some stunning coaching news today, the University of Minnesota Athletic Director Mark Hoyle announced that Gopher softball head coach and Duluth native Jamie Trashel will be stepping down from her position as the U of M's head softball coach. Trashel is leaving to take the head coaching job at Mississippi. Last year, she led the Gophers to their first ever College World Series and a Big Ten championship back in 2018. Certainly a big loss for the Gophers. But Tony and Kristen, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
All right, looking forward to the 10 o'clock with that draft recap.
Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, graduation is just around the corner, not only for high school students, but college seniors as well. But as the COVID-19 pandemic continues and millions file for unemployment, what's the possibility of those students landing jobs? Tonight, we're taking a look at the status of the local job market and how much hiring Northland businesses need to do.
Before we go, a zoo in Greece has welcomed some newborn ring-tailed lemurs and meerkats. Lemurs are my favorite, but they'll have to wait a while before greeting the public because the zoo is closed as part of the coronavirus lockdown. In total, 4 baby meerkats and 5 lemurs were born.
Oh, cute. Very cute. Well, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10.
CBS3